The NFL Players Union also arguing that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell should not be part of the Rice appeal. With a legal analysis on this story, we're joined by Ashby Jones from the Wall Street Journal Law Bureau. Ashby, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to read quickly from the statement from the Players Union. We've asked that a neutral and jointly selected arbitrator hear this case, as the commissioner and his staff will be essential witnesses in the proceeding and thus cannot serve as impartial arbitrators. Now, under the collective bargaining agreement, Commissioner Goodell has the authority to hear all discipline appeals. So do they have a case?
Well, they're arguing that basically Roger Goodell is conflicted out, that he played a central role in the meting out the punishment initially in this situation. So they're arguing that he shouldn't be able to be the arbitrator on this, on whether or not the indefinite suspension was fair. So they're saying that the collective bargaining agreement here, those terms that you just read, should not apply, and that they should be able to take their appeal directly to a third-party neutral arbitrator.
Is there a legal basis for that?
Yeah, well, I think there is. I think they can argue that because of conflicts, they're going to go to the arbitrator now, rather than wait for Goodell to hear an appeal and then go to the arbitrator, which would be the normal course of events that this would take.
Now, what is the time frame that we're looking at for the appeals process?
These things don't take a ton of time. It's not like going into a court of law, which can take months and months. I don't think we know the exact time frame yet, but I would say probably several weeks, maybe a month and a half at the latest. We're in the middle of the football season now, right? And the Ravens are playing, and they're a good team. They would like to have Mr. Rice back, presumably at some point. I think what's probably most troublesome to them is the indefinite part of it. They just don't know how long they're going to be without him.
Well, let's talk about the other complaint from the Players Association, that he was banned for 2 games, then indefinitely banned. So they're arguing that he's being punished twice for the same infraction.
That's right. And typically in a court of law, that would be called double jeopardy. Here, that sort of idea doesn't really apply, because we're dealing with a private organization, which typically could do whatever it wants to. However, in the collective bargaining agreement, there's a part of the law that says that this type of thing can't happen. If you have all the information and you mete out a punishment, 6 months later, you can't come out based on the same information you had and say, you know what, we're going to change this. So, so they're arguing that it is sort of a double jeopardy kind of situation, and it shouldn't be allowed.
And have the official rules changed regarding domestic violence in the NFL after this?
Well, initially it was like a 2-game suspension, and that's what everybody kind of sent everybody into an uproar initially.
That wasn't
2 games,
enough.
That wasn't enough. Marijuana suspensions are for much longer than this, et cetera. So they've extended it, I believe, to about 6 games now. That's sort of the minimum that you have to serve in a situation like this. But since the video came out, obviously they've gone to a stricter penalty for him.
Now, the commissioner is feeling a lot of heat from advertisers, notably Anheuser-Busch and others, over the way this has been handled. So is this going to play into the case?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that Mr. Goodell has his hands full, and I think, as you pointed out, this is the big question now: is how much pressure are advertisers going to put on the league and on Roger Goodell to step down? If you had asked me a week ago, I would have said his job is safe. Now it looks like it's a little bit shakier, but that's sort of a different issue than the Ray Rice issue, which will head out on a parallel track, so to speak.
Certainly dark days for the NFL. Thank you so much, Ashby, for that.